4 years?
Yeah. We moved here from Lake Somerville.
From Somerville?
Yeah, Lake Somerville.
Lake Somerville, okay.
State Park.
Yeah.
I had retired there in 1983.
We're retired from where?
I was a welding inspector.
A welding inspector?
Yes, sir. I was a Navy welder in World War II.
Uh-huh. So I guess you learned that. You learned that in World War II because you were a CB, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I've interviewed a lot of. I've talked to a lot of CBs. I do a TV show and a radio show. I do a TV show every week called Veterans of the Valley, and where I talk to different veterans that live in Bryan and College Station, and I've talked to about 100 of them so far. And some fascinating stories. And some of the CBs that I've talked to, there's a fellow in Brenham who's I know I've talked to a couple here. There's one in Brenham I know that I've talked to. So where did you tell me about where did you serve?
I volunteered when I was in high school. Yeah.
Where'd you grow up?
And at Richmond, Texas.
Oh, okay, just down near Houston.
And, yeah, and then they didn't take me right away, but they had me. They said, "Well, we got you. We'll wait a little bit before we put you in duty." And they found that I was called to Pearl Harbor.
Right.
And then came back from Pearl Harbor to went from Pearl Harbor to Midway.
I see. What year was this?
43.
In 43?
Yeah, I served there a year and a half. Laying gas lines from the docks to the airfield.
This was at Midway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was buried 3 times. From the sand caving in on me. Because we was trying to put them deep enough to be bomb-proof if the Zeps came back.
Right.
Then I went back to Pearl Harbor, regrouped new equipment and all that stuff, and stopped the bomb with the sick people. And then we went to Tinian.
Tinian, Tinian Island?
Yes.
Right.
I had laid 23 miles of gas line.
Wow.
From the docks, which they didn't have, we had to build, and then on to the airfield. And I helped load the Northern Gate that Colonel Tibbetts flew.
Right.
And then came back to the States all in one piece.
My goodness.
Went to the welder, try to make a living and stuff and what have you.
So were you just mainly doing gas lines, or did you do other kind of construction?
No, most everything. We built storage tanks.
Right.
For diesel, for submarines.
Yeah.
And that. And I worked on some submarines when they come in crippled up and stuff. A little bit of everything.
Yeah. Did you always want to be a CB, or was that sort of where you were assigned?
Well, no, I just more or less wanted to be in the Navy. And
right.
Since I had some experience in welding, why
they said, yeah, this guy's gonna be in construction.
Yeah. So
I don't think people realize how valuable the CBs were to the war effort. I mean, the building the runways, building the runways especially. I mean,
Yeah. See, we extended the runway some on Midway when Jimmy Doolittle was going to fly to Japan.
Oh, really?
But they wasn't long enough.
I see.
So they unloaded everything, and he took off of a carrier. But it took everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard. It took everybody to win the war.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were there. So where you grew up in Richmond. So how old were you when you went into the service?
Not quite 18.
About 18?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so Pearl Harbor and Midway, and then back to Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
So as a CB, did you come in contact with much resistance? Did you have to?
Not too much, no, because we were the biggest battalion out there, a lot of equipment, so they protected us pretty good.
Yeah.
The Marine Corps protected all the coastline on Midway.
Right.
And Army did on Tinian.
Right. Right. So I guess you were in and out before the famous Battle of the Midway, right? I mean, that was towards the end of the.
Well, I was there when it ended. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the
turning points.
Turning point of the war.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mother's first husband was a pilot, a Navy pilot.
Yeah.
He flew Hellcats, F-6F Hellcats. He was killed in the war, but before really a lot of the action got started. He was killed during a training mission.
Yeah.
But I know that that F-6F Hellcat was pretty instrumental in fighting the Midway, along with a lot of airplanes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was quite a deal. What?
So how long were you in the Pacific?
Just about 4 years.
4 years. So where beside Midway and Pearl Harbor were you at Hickam Field? Is that where you were?
No, we were based up on the hill where the Navy Hospital AIA was.
Yeah.
And I'd go to Hickam Field, Port Island, on my off days.
Right.
And do submarine watch. They had SPD pilots flying around watching for Jap subs to come in there. And if you see the dark spot in the water, you dove down to it to see what it was.
Yeah.
Up and down, up and down.
Right.
4 hours at a time.
Wow.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's quite a deal.
Quite a deal indeed. So you spent the rest of your tour at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii?
Yeah, came back, and then they finally give us a few days off. We got here to the States, calling in Portland, Oregon, and then I went home for a few days, then went back, and then they finally give me a discharge.
I see.
They wanted me to go back to Japan to be some kind of patrol watch on bringing people in there. So.
Right.
But I didn't take it. I wanted to come home.
Yeah.
All at the one stretch, 4 years, a long time. No leave off, no nothing,
Right. Right. Tell me about your family. Were you married at the time, or were you?
I got married after I got back.
After you got back?
Yeah. I married a lady from Eagle Harbor, Michigan.
Where'd you meet her?
Her folks come to Houston to work in the shipyard during the war.
I see.
And then we had 4 daughters.
Really?
And I worked all over the States.
What was your wife's name?
Huh?
What was your wife's name?
Lily. Lily.
Lily?
Yeah. And
How long were y'all married?
42.5 years. And she died of cancer.
Is that right?
Yes.
When did she die?
88.
In 88?
Let's see. 88, January the 6th.
So she's been gone 20 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And y'all had 4 daughters?
Yes.
My goodness.
And they all living.
Yeah.
My youngest daughter lives over Brazos.
Uh-huh.
Her husband is retired from the Alco Chemical Company.
Yeah.
They have 2 boys.
Right.
The oldest boy is going to is 28. He's getting married September the 13th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The other one works for Walmart in Madisonville.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Then I have my second oldest, youngest daughter, don't have any children.
Mm-hmm.
She's right now in St. Sue, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
They retired after the summer and spend the winter in Turbiville, Texas.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
And she's eventually hoping to retire.
Yeah. So she comes down here for the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my uncle used to live in Casper, Wyoming, and he would do that. He'd spend the summers up there and the winters down in Kerrville.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, back in early 60s, Kerrville was 65% World War II retirees.
Right. Right.
Yeah, a good climate.
Yeah. Yeah. People love to retire there. You're right.
My third oldest, my second oldest daughter, she's divorced now, has some family problems.
Mm-hmm.
She's manager over here near Villa Maria, that Goodwill store.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she manages it.
Uh-huh.
And she dates some guy here out of over at Birch Creek State Park.
I see.
And my oldest daughter is divorced also.
Uh-huh.
And she's staying with her daughter.
I see. Where do they live?
Huh?
Where do they live?
They live in Conroe.
Oh, in Conroe.
Yeah.
So except for the one in Michigan, they're all kind of close to you.
Yeah. But anyhow, she had 2 daughters. My granddaughter had 2 daughters.
Uh-huh.
My grandson had 5 grandsons.
Uh-huh.
I have 5 great-granddaughters.
Oh, my goodness.
House of women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A house of women. You had 4 daughters, and you got 5 great-granddaughters.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Goodness gracious. So after you were discharged, what did you do? You came back home, and what was your you stayed in gas line business? Is that right?
I'll set up there.
Okay.
Well, I worked wherever I could get a job.
Oh, really?
You know, they wasn't so easy to get there.
No, because everybody was coming home.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And I worked for Brown and Root.
Uh-huh.
And we did road work and all that kind of stuff for a while. And then at night I went to Rice in Houston to school to study metallurgy.
I see.
I ended up being a metallurgist and then got into inspection. And then in '83, in August the 25th, I had a heart attack. And I went to my family doctor. They said, "You had a heart attack."
Oh, my.
And I said, "Well, I don't know what to do." He says, "Well, let me send you to a cardiologist in Houston." I said, "Well, I ain't ready yet." And anyhow, the next day I was.
Yeah.
He sent me to Denton Cooley.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, "Who do you want to go to?" I said, "I want to go to the best."
Right.
But tell him I ain't nobody there. So next morning I got a call. Says, HC? Yeah, that's me. This is Denton Cooley. I'm ready to work on your heart, make you live longer. I said, well, I'm just a poor guy. He said, don't worry about the darn money. Come on up.
Wow.
And they did 6 bypasses.
This was in 1983?
Yeah, in August the 25th. Then I got back out and I worked scattered all over the country, inspecting this and that and what have you. And then he told me, you better retire. He says, that's a pretty rough load. But anyhow, I did, and lived up my hip pocket for a while because I wasn't old enough to draw Social Security. So I retired up here in Burleson County at Lake Somerville. And stayed there. And then my wife and I decided to travel. We got us a fifth wheel.
Yeah.
And we went all over the West Coast, up into Canada twice, Alaska twice.
Wow.
Florida, East Coast, Dolly Parton country. And yeah. Then we went to Arizona and stayed in an RV resort, played games.
Yeah.
And then so then my wife got sick with her liver. In '96 we came back here. And took it easy ever since. She got over her liver deal pretty good. I ended up with 3 more bypasses. Ended up with an endograft in my stomach. My left knee was replaced, gallbladder removed. Then I got Bell palsy right here.
Really?
Yeah. Head not formed.
I know something about that.
Yeah, and
I'm actually battling Bell's palsy right now.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm almost over it. I'm about 90% over it, but it hit me in August of last year, 11 months ago, and I had it pretty bad for about 7 months. I still have some residual effects from it, so yeah, that's a real booger.
The radiations will really ruin me.
Yeah.
It's got all these teeth and everything. I can't feel them.
Right.
And these bones here all hurt.
Oh yeah.
Which I just got through taking pain pills all of those.
Right.
But anyhow, they did surgery here.
Yeah.
Too deep. They closed it back up. A couple of weeks later, they decided to go in with radium. Give me radium treatment. And it gave me a little relief, but I think it did more damage than it did good. But anyhow, about a month after that, I felt a soft spot here.
Up on your head? Yeah.
Yeah. Had them check it. Sure enough, they're in cancer.
Oh my.
Had to take 35 more radium treatments. Oh, they cooked me. Then, wife got me here with, hospice. And I've been with y'all since, and, boy, they're nice people.
Yeah.
Really helpful, humanitarian.
They do wonderful work, yeah.
They do. Yesterday I was at my doctor, and
who's your doctor?
Danny Smart. family doctor. He's the one that got me in the hospital. And says, well, I want to be truthful to you, Hilbert. I said, yes, tell me the truth. Don't lie, don't do nothing. If it's bad, it's bad. If it's good, it's good. I accept it. And he says, well, we're not doing much good. He says, see, I got a pacemaker with a defibrillator, too.
Right.
And as long as you got that, it keeps your heart going. So they decided that it'd be best to shut it off. I don't know when. They're making all the arrangements now. And then I can probably go to sleep someday.
So, but they haven't shut it off yet.
Not yet, no. They got to get the equipment and stuff. There's 2 guys here in Bryan can do it.
Yeah.
Only takes about 15 minutes.
I guess it's just a small little surgery that they just go in.
Probably, I guess, cut that wire going from the battery to the defibrillator.
Right. Right.
I accept it.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I've been here going on 87 years.
Yeah.
And that's over average. I can't really complain. Sure, I'd like to live longer, but not under misery all the time.
Yeah.
See? So I accept it. It's just the good Lord's way of putting it away, I guess. I don't know. It's a mystery, you know. And so
you have good faith, though. I mean, your religious faith is strong.
Yeah, I do. It's just a way of life for everybody.
Sure.
The good Lord brought us here buck naked. Didn't promise you nothing. What you made is what you got.
Right.
You know, and so that's about it, you know. But I feel like someday we'll all meet again.
Well, you served your country.
Yes.
I've
never been in jail. I've never hurt nobody. I've never stolen nothing. I don't drink. I've never raped nobody or nothing. Only thing I did in my life was when I was a little kid going to grammar school and high school, I was mischievous as hell. But I started that, that's it. So I don't have no guilt there.
No.
So
no, I'm glad you were.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have believed you if you were totally.
Yeah. My sister used to. She retired here about 3 months ago from the funeral home in Richmond. And she said they got a CB Honor Guard battalion in Houston.
Oh, really?
And she's going to try to talk to them whenever I do go to get them to come be honor guard at my funeral.
I see.
So I don't know.
Well, that will be an honor, obviously.
Yeah, I'm a life member of the Veterans of Foreign Wars out of Colwell.
Right.
I never did transfer over here because I've been in bed all the time.
I understand.
So
yeah. Yeah. So do you sleep well?
Since last night I sleep pretty good, yeah.
Yeah.
They switched that medication around and I slept pretty good.
Right.
Yeah, it's
how old is your sister? She's younger than you?
Huh?
Your sister? Did you say you had a sister?
Yeah.
And how old is she?
She's 68.
Okay, so she's quite a bit younger than you are.
Yeah.
Right.
She was the youngest in the family.
I see. How many others were in the family?
I had another sister. She died about 12, 15 years ago. High temper.
Yeah.
My dad died the same way. High temper. Mother died the same way. High temper. Kept their blood shot up all the time.
Yeah.
That's something I tried to control.
Right.
It's,
Right. Well, with your heart problems going back, over 20 years ago, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Tell me about your dad.
My dad had a heart attack when he was 53 years old.
And he died?
And he died immediately.
Well, my dad died of a heart attack at 48 years old. Was young also.
Yeah, yeah.
And so was he in the service?
No.
No?
No, he was a farmer.
Well, was he?
Yeah.
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 Where was he from?
Down around close to Damon, Texas.
Oh, okay.
Between Damon and Richmond and there.
Yeah. And did your mom live a long time, or?
83.
Oh, wow.
She had one bypass.
Is that right?
Yeah. But,
did she ever remarry, or after your dad died?
Yeah, she did for a while. And he passed away.
I see.
I was, I think, aboard ship in Alaska when she died.
Yeah.
We was on the way home, but.
So when you and Lily did all this traveling and everything, where'd you really enjoy going? Where were your favorite places?
Well, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Right here in the States.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went all up the West Coast, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, New Mexico, all them places, Arizona, and Oregon, Canada, down to Idaho, then back east to Dolly Parton's country.
Yeah, in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah, over there near.
And then we went down to Florida. I had a World War II reunion in California. One in Florida. One in Tennessee. One in St. Louis. I guess that's about all I've made out of them.
That's a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's an honor to know you and to meet you.
And thank you.
And thank you for your service to our country.
Well, it took all of us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it took all of us.
Oh yeah. It was a different time back then.
Yeah.
It was
really different.
It was a great generation of people.
Yeah. Just don't know what's going to happen though.
Yeah.
The whole world is changing.
Oh, isn't it ever?
Volcanoes, tornadoes, bad weather.
Floods and...
People are not humanitarian no more. They don't want to help each other.
I know.
This child hospice thing is the best thing I ever heard of.
Yeah.
These people come up here and give you a hug and talk to you and that and help you pass away your time,
Sure.
It's great. And I think that's what the good Lord wanted.
Right.
Is the people to be together.
To help other people.
Because everybody is the same. It's a little different in color and the skin, but that skin is so thin, if you shaved it off, you couldn't tell it.
Right.
So, I don't know. It's one of those things. What really hurts me most right now is not being able to see.
Yeah. How long have you been without your sight?
A little over 2 years now, off and on. Now I can take this eye here, pick this up, put this down a little, I can see that light there.
Yeah.
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 I can't see your face almost.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But you can see some light.
I can't watch TV and nothing like that. So.
Yeah. Do you listen to the radio? Do you listen to things?
No, not too much. Some of the news, and that's about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Do you? Oh, I know what I was going to ask you. What brought you all to College Station? Where did that come from?
Since I retired over here in Burleson County at State Park, because it was one of the cheapest counties to live in at that time. And we were doctoring here. My cartilage doctor.
Your cardiologist?
Yeah, and different ones here. So, and it was a lot of driving.
Right.
From there here, over 100-mile round trip.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Because time we come here, go to the doctor, get some groceries and stuff, get back all day long.
Yeah.
And it wore me out.
Yeah.
So we decided to buy here. And we seen this townhouse for sale, and we bought it.
Yeah.
And staying in it, and it's easier for my wife that she has to do the driving. And that, and then we get good help here.
Right.
So
you're married now, right?
Yes.
And so what is her name?
Her name is Leola.
Leola. And
yes.
When did you marry her?
1988, November 19th.
I see.
And we went to church and school together.
I see.
When we were kids.
Oh, really?
Lutheran Church in Damon, Texas.
So you've known each other since
Yeah,
you were
we
a kid.
knew each other's family and that.
Yeah.
She lost her brother. Hitler got him.
So he served in Germany?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he served in Germany, and him and I running around together when we was kids. He was just about a year younger than I am. She's 3 years younger than I am. But we've had a good, happy life.
So you've been married about 20 years, and
the 19th of November will be 20 years if I live that long.
And her name is Leola?
Yeah. The reason we call her Leola is everybody usually gets a given name, you know. Her mother named her Leola. And then afterwards, the dad says, usually everybody got another second name. So he named his mother. Then after that, he says, that might hurt your grandmother.
Right.
So we better name her too. And her grandmother is Annie. And her other one is
it's hard to remember.
Yeah.
Now, does Leola have children?
Yes, she has a son in Tyler, Texas. He's a professor at the University of Texas there.
At Tyler.
And she has a daughter that works in Houston as does dental work.
I see.
And
I see.
And she has 4 grandchildren.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you get a lot of visitors here? Do you have some?
Not too many.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not too good of a talker. I get tired easy.
I think you're pretty good.
Yeah. I have a pretty good memory sometimes.
Yeah, you have an excellent memory.
But every once in a while, something will drop, and it takes a while to pick it up.
Oh, I'm only 60, and that happens to me all the time. Yeah.
I talked 2 weeks ago to my buddy that slept next to me that did all the reunion work. And
where's he live?
He's in Missouri right now.
I see.
His wife had a broken back during the war in a car wreck. And he had a wheelchair all his life. But he took care of her.
I see. It's
like my first wife, when they told her she had cancer all over her body and couldn't help her. She said, well, can I go home? He said, yeah. And on the way home, she said, I want to die at home. I said, okay, I'll give you your wishes. And I did. I called the Cancer Association. They brought me bed and stuff and what have you. And then I got 2 nurses, 24 hours a day. And took care of her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to wear you out, but I sure have enjoyed visiting with you
Yeah,
and talking to you.
I enjoyed you coming. Yeah.
And I love talking to veterans about their war experience, about their life. We're so honored by their service.
Yeah.
And so, do you take a nap in the afternoons, or do you?
Yeah. Probably in a couple of hours. There's going to be somebody give me a bath.
I guess you kind of lose track of time, don't you?
Yeah. And by then the wife will be back and what have you.
Yeah, it's almost 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Now, so the day is just starting.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your service, and God bless you.
Yeah.
Your nickname was how'd you get that name?
Well, I was named by a Spanish woman. My name was Gilberto. And because my mother was sick all the time, and then they called me Hilbert in English.
Yeah.
But I was fairly bright, I guess, in school. So Mama would tell him in church, well, we call him Sonny because we have to put a tub over him so he's so bright.
Your nickname was how'd you get that name?
Well, I was named by a Spanish woman. My name was Gilberto. And because my mother was sick all the time, and then they called me Hilbert in English.
Yeah.
But I was fairly bright, I guess, in school. So Mama would tell him in church, well, we call him Sonny because we have to put a tub over him so he's so bright.